Welcome to Talking with Soup. My name is Dan Campbell. This is WWE superstar Seth Rollins.
What up?
So, WWE superstar.
If you want to call it that. Sure.
Traveling the world.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be the dream job. Is it your dream job?
For me, it's my dream job, yeah. I mean, kind of like singing in a band is your dream job, right?
But here's the question. What was your first dream job? The first job you remember when your parents asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I wanted to be a
football
player.
Football player first?
Jerry Rice, no doubt.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For the Niners or for the Bears?
Confession. I was a bandwagon kid as a young man. The Bears were so bad for so long during the mid-90s. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I liking this awful, terrible team? And of course, it was either the Cowboys or the 49ers, and my brother picked the Cowboys, so...
I loved the Eagles. I loved them, but we never really had a chance. So when it got to the NFC Championship, every year it was like 4 years in a row where it was the Niners and the Cowboys, and I always rooted for the Niners. I always wanted to see them win a candlestick.
Yeah.
So then, if your first dream job was NFL player, when did pro wrestler come into the picture?
Probably when I was I started backyard wrestling when I was 14 years old, and we would put on our little shows month to month, in just the backyard, and I started really enjoying that. So probably a couple years into that, I was like, man, I don't think I want to go to college. I think I just want to be a wrestler, and I seem to have a decent knack for the athletic side of it. So I was like, I don't know, I just fell in love with fell in love with the business, I guess, because as a young kid I was really into it, and then kind of fell off. But then once we started doing that again, and the whole business itself picked up, I just was like, man, I think I can do this.
Now, I know when you were younger, you invented your own character. Everyone did.
Sure.
You invented your own finish.
Yeah.
What was your character? What was the finisher?
We were pretty intense. So, I don't know. I think I can say my character. My character's name was God. That's a first right here. That's an exclusive.
I love that.
And my finish was a 630, a double front flip through a table.
Okay.
I used to be able to do it off our trampoline through a makeshift table, which was
incredible.
2 sawhorses. And
that's when you were 14.
I was 16. Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
When you were 5 and you were watching Warrior come out, did you have a character you developed then as well?
I mostly made my own tournaments. I draw the little brackets out, and I would be video game characters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Guile or Ryu from Street Fighter, or any of the G.I. Joes, or there was a game called Primal Rage for Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
And they had some awesome characters in there that I don't remember any of their names.
The first time that I saw Miz hit the skull crushing finale, I gotta file some sort of a lawsuit, because when I was 6 years old, that was my finisher.
Yeah.
The full Nelson kind of face buster. That was.
I'm sure in your mind it looked a lot more vicious than the way Miz does it, though, right? In your mind, it was this deathly.
It was your nose was broken. Yeah. It was the end of it.
Yeah, Miz doesn't put a whole lot of force behind that stuff.
He owes me royalties. Is the bottom line there.
I think he can afford that.
Maybe. So you also are a fan of punk rock. Obviously, you're here. Yeah. When did that start for you?
Man, punk rock. The genre now is so muddled, I would say.
Fair.
Because there's so many. It's
partially our fault.
Well, it's the natural evolution kind of sound, I would assume, where people just start to pick from different influences.
Yeah. I use it as an overarching kind of this world. I just call it punk rock,
Yeah, I think my first introduction to it was maybe Atreyu, if you want to even call them punk rock.
I'll put them under the bubble. None of it bothers me. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this band is punk rock and that band isn't.
Yeah,
I'll put it under the bubble.
It was their first record, Suicide Notes and Butterfly Kisses, which I kind of, because I was a metal kid during high school.
Yeah.
Shadows Fall, Kill Switch, All That Remains, Lamb of God, God Forbid, all those northeastern metalcore bands that kind of got really big, and then from there just started branching out. And Atreyu was the first band that really had kind of punky rock, clean singing in it, and then I just started to kind of jump into it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked Simple Plan too. I'd Do Anything was a hell of a song. It did all right. I liked a little bit of Newfound. They weren't like my gateway band. Like a lot of people, Newfound Glory was like the first one. I never really got into them too much. I like some of their stuff, their bigger hits, but like I don't own a single Newfound album.
Yeah. No, they were huge for me in like middle school.
Yeah.
I remember the first time someone got an MP3 player, it could fit like 11 songs on it, and they had Hit or Miss on there. They let me listen to the bus, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I was huge into Blink and MXPX, and then Newfound was next, and then Get Up Kid and Saves the Day, and etc. from there. But for a while in NXT, punk rock, hardcore was a big part of your character.
Yeah.
You think that it's going to come back at any point?
We'll see. I mean, I've always wanted to have some sort of influence from this world and that world just because they're two things that I really enjoy. So, I mean, who knows? It's up in the air. I'm not opposed to it in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the entrance had a lot of energy and people seem to be really attached to it. So it's something that I could see happening.
That was what kind of put like, so I was sort of like, not floundering in NXT, but I didn't really I was just doing like a regular entrance, like, hey, I'm a dude, Seth Rollins, and then like I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just try this, because before I was in Ring of Honor, I just did a regular entrance. We started with Age of the Fall, and then when I was on my own, I just did a regular entrance. But before on the Indies, the dancing was like my entrance. That was like my shtick sort of thing. So when I was like, I brought it back. I was like, you know what? Let's try this out, see what happens. And it kind of got like there. It's you can't not notice it. You know what I mean?
Is Rollins a Black Flag nod?
Yes.
A Henry Rollins nod?
Henry Rollins nod, yeah.
Awesome. We were talking about this before the camera started, but you're on tour more than we are, which is a really rare thing for me to find. And I know your girlfriend, lovely, great dog. You have a great apartment you're talking about now.
Yeah.
How do you find the balance? Where's the balance between touring and being at home?
You know what? I don't know if I found it yet, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of stuff to wade through, sort of. But you just kind of got to accept things as they come, I think. Instead of trying to, like, force things into, a square peg to a round hole, you kind of just got to go with the flow and let things come as they do. I try to get her to shows as much as I can when they're in the Midwest and stuff like that, and just kind of make it about her when I am at home, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Good boyfriending.
I try. I'm not perfect, all right? I'm not perfect. I do my best, though.
And with all this travel, if you have, it's folklore, but I'm pretty sure it's true. If you have a belt with you, you got to drag it around, right? That doesn't go in a props case. There's not a wardrobe case that's in.
No,
that's
that goes
with you.
That goes through security.
Is that a check bag?
Every time. It's not a check bag.
Carry on?
You can't. So I never check my gear or the belts, because if something happens, God forbid, and you don't get that bag, you're screwed. That always comes with me on the plane every time. No. So
how many arguments have you gotten into at the gate when they're like, "Hey, we got to gate check this bag"?
The gate checking, I feel better about. Because sometimes you can't get it in the overhead space. The gate checking, I'm okay with. I feel comfortable that it's like right there. I know that they can't mess that up for the most part.
They can though. I had to gate check my bag to Soundwave in Australia. My clothes didn't get there. I was standing next to Ben from Lucero, and I was just like, my clothes aren't here. And he's like, can I buy you a drink? I'm so sorry. I had to go through the first 4 days of Soundwave. One set of clothes. I didn't have a belt because I took it off before I got on the plane. Yeah. So I ripped my lanyard from my laminate in half and tied it around my waist. Like a true Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel, Simpsons kind of thing.
Survival mode at that point.
Love the idea of you not having a belt in a bag. Like walking onto a plane just holding the championship.
I would never do that. I hate even taking it. So what I tried, when it goes through the security of the x-ray, I tried my hardest to leave it in the bag. Because as soon as you take it out of the bag, everybody is just saying, "Oh, look at this thing! Oh, he's got a title belt," and then everybody's looking at you. It's like it's almost as bad as people like taking pictures in the airport with you, because it's just like
trying to get on my flight.
All you want to do is just get to the flight, but you can't.
Just trying to eat a shitty meal at Chili's too and get on the flight.
Right, that's all you want is a pre-made salad and a naked juice.
Absolutely. So you have an astounding amount of fan fiction written about you and the other members of The Shield. And I have recently come to 2 shows, And at both shows, when you guys walked out, every woman around me freaked out.
Yeah,
You are the new sex symbol of the WWE.
I don't know how that happened.
You guys are the bad guys.
I don't understand
You're
it.
bad boys.
I swear it's the gear. It's the
Yeah.
SWAT gear. That's all it is. And Roman Reigns, maybe.
How much of it have you read?
I've read a fair share of the fan. Like, you can't miss it. Like, you search anything. You're trying to find a cool picture or anything, and it's like, I'm on to you, Tumblr girls. I know what you're doing out there.
He checks the tag.
And it's weird, man. It's weird, all right? Stop it.
I had some great joking fan fiction written about me, a whole blog about it.
Yeah.
But it was things like I was playing kickball with neighborhood kids.
Oh.
Or like I was setting up slip and slides.
Yeah, that's harmless.
So much nicer than what I've read through, like just little tidbits of the things about you, and it gets dicey.
I can't read a paragraph without, like, physically becoming almost ill.
It's upsetting.
Oh, man. I'm upset that you know about that.
So let's wrap it up the way I always wrap it up. On a negative note, let them know. Cautionary tale for anyone that wants to be a pro wrestler. What's the biggest mistake you've made in your career?
Clearly urinating under the ring last week.
Did you actually do that?
Yes, I had to. And you gotta go. You
Gotta
gotta go, man.
Did you get in trouble for that?
No, didn't.
Do they know about it before watching this?
I don't think so. Probably not.
Probably not. So I'm gonna get you
There
in
might
trouble.
be one person that knows about it. But
If you get in trouble for this being on the internet, I'm very sorry. But thank you so much for doing it with me.
Yeah, no
You're the
problem,
man.
man. Thank you.